public relations because it's like in the old folk tales about vampires. A vampire cannot force his way into somebody's house. It's against some kind of metaphysical law. So the vampire has to persuade the resident of the household to open the door and invite him in.
Sound effects courtesy
of
political
look at
brother.
the people at Barack Obama, which looks like them and appears to be on their side. They're going to say, okay, here's my ally. Let me open the door and let me let this person in. And then Barack Obama is just, of course, a front man for the American empire, where he's going to have
like
the
Michael
entire
Jackson.
U.S.
He's about
Navy,
light
the
as he
entire
is.
U.S. Army, and the entire U.S.
Look at that.
Marines
That's a conspiracy.
under AFRICOM command. And, of course, he's going to turn it into a new Iraq, and he's going to turn it into a new Afghanistan. Every operation that you see going on in Iraq and Afghanistan is going to propagate to the 4 countries of Africa. And
sir, I agree with you. Sir, I agree with you. They're looking to the people. They see a handsome, smiling African face.
Yes.
You know, he's all, hey, I'm from Kenya.
Look how light. He's almost light as Joe Biden.
Switch. But it's the same thing here in the United States where they would get sellout Native American chiefs to sell out their people. This is the oldest trick in the book. And he can also pacify the most downtrodden minority groups in the United States. And he's saying, hey, get ready for sacrifice. Get ready to lose your standard of living. They're like, yay, I love Obama. They could never get away with this with a John McCain.
Huh.
Wow. Hold that spot, because we're going to turn this video. We're going to go back. We're going to be talking about this video in sections, so hold that spot.
Okay.
You know, this is the question. Are we becoming sellouts just because we think this man is African-American, he's really going to work in the community's best interest? When here we are talking about global domination in Africa and in Afghanistan. I'm asking you a question, political brother.
I think, why would you expect, okay, everybody, this is where I had to blame myself too, Shirley. Just for one moment. You know you started to believe just for one little moment. And you know damn well been better than to believe in the system. But no. Just like a girl, like that 19-year-old girl out on her 15th date, you just needed to believe this was true love. So you embraced Obama, the change we can all believe in. Yes.
I got some change in my purse.
And so there ends up being no change. Okay. So now what you really are saying is, I, as the radical leftist here, I too am pissed off because for a moment, for one actual moment, I actually had an idea that maybe, just maybe, there would be some change. But of course, what you need to recognize is that you two were fooled, but he's no different than the other administrations too. It is the same. It is the agenda. And here it goes again.
You've been bamboozled. Okay, so now that we know we've been bamboozled.
For about 40 years.
We've been known, and we continue to be bamboozled because we basically have a African-American president who says he's working in the community's best interest, urban community's best interest. But as you can see, you know, there's 3 forms of government, and we've talked about that: local, state, and federal. And yet you, my brothers and sisters, continue to vote these candidates in office in your local office that are doing nothing for you. And you make the assumption because if they're blackface, they're going to work in your best interest, where they're not.
He's kind of light.
Well, he's half white. If you're half white, you half light, okay?
See, there you go. See? But you don't talk about that, huh?
Why should we talk about the white side? Because the white man don't think he's white. They look at Obama as an African-American.
You know, this is one day we'll look.
But they felt that because he was African-American male, he should be able to have more of a worldwide connections with different countries, from Afghanistan to Iraq to Kenya to Africa, different other parts of Africa. But this is the challenge that I have. How do we know that this is not a setup? Because that's what the Bilderberg group, and this is what this documentary called The Obama Deception is telling us. That this is just part of this face that they looked at when they saw in 2004 when he made this glorious speech at the DNC, and they said, you know what? We need to have this man be the face of America. But he's still wearing the same shoes as the deceivers of the past and the current administration.
But how dare you bring this leftist literature in here? You know, this is some leftist. Do you realize this is some leftist literature? You hip-hop Republican,
explaining to you the
but you're using leftist literature.
Because we think that the white American male don't care about black people. We're letting you know black people don't care about black people. The only people that are going to care about you is yourself and your consciousness of logic, of making common sense and good decisions.
Look at this man.
What about him? He's
Show this, Vic.
I know he's going to
see this man. Now, this is the man. You think, okay, are you surprised they don't care about you? And look at Shirley. I want to remind the world that Shirley Huzar is using leftist video publications. Leftist conspiracy. This is a leftist conspiracy video.
Republican conspiracy video.
It's leftist. You liberal, you take that.
Go to the next part of the
video.
You
liberal
family. Ignore the man.
Sounds liberal to me.
Naps in his head. He crazy.
Kick the Chinese out of Africa. Kick them out of Sudan where they get oil. Kick them out of Zimbabwe where they get raw materials. Start a civil war in Congo, another big source of raw materials. Al-Qaeda, an arm of the U.S. intelligence community, is now active in Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco. You've got a destabilization going on in Kenya around Odinga. That's Obama's cousin. This is a guy who has two children. They're Obama's niece and, nephew in a broad sense. And one of them is named Raul, and the other one is named Winnie, after Winnie Mandela, who did the necklacing and political assassinations in South Africa. So that's
how he's referencing Winnie Mandela?
Is essentially a CIA destabilizing operation in Kenya, and he's got a Odinga Islamic Alliance to crush the Christians in Kenya, but this also reaches into Ethiopia, it reaches into Uganda, Congo, Tanzania, and a whole bunch of other countries.
They got some new conspiracies
so
I haven't heard
of. Is a battlefield in flames between the U.S. and the Chinese, with Obama leading the charge to kick the Chinese out for geopolitical reasons.
Number 7, radically expand federal control over family farms and ranches through the Animal ID and Premises ID system. Number 8, accelerate the merger of the United States with Canada and Mexico under the Security and Prosperity Partnership. He is also accelerating the transfer of remaining federal authority to unelected quasi-governmental bodies like the World Trade Organization. Number 9, Obama must convincingly play the part of the president and convince the people of the United States that the buck actually stops with him. This is critical to the globalist master plan, because in 4 to 8 years, Obama must take the blame, as Bush did, for the New World Order's horrific agenda. At that point, the elite will put a new puppet in the ceremonial seat of power and build him up as the savior, only to tear them down again. And so the process is repeated over and over. For their program to work, it is essential that the people not learn that the presidency is now nothing more than theater. Because if they did, the people would stop looking at the pawns and start looking for the king.
That's about to build.
Through this system of deceit, the elite's criminal agenda can continue forever because the people waste all of their political energy debating the media spectacle instead of investigating the globalist agenda.
That's correct.
Number 10, it's Obama's job to sell the public on globalist policies that aren't in the people's best interest, but the overlords have many salesmen. His most important function is to protect the criminal oligarchs from prosecution while they loot the economy worldwide, start new wars, and engage in torture.
They're called Generation O, and they were the key to Barack Obama's White House win.
Now, you know, some people say, is this real or not real, Mario? Because some people believe that it's real. Some people say it's conspiracy. I mean, my God.
They had about 50 conspiracies so far. I've been counting. I lost track. You know, I myself roll with like 20, 30 conspiracies. But when I meet them brothers, they got like 50 to 100 conspiracies. I'm like, damn, you got more conspiracies than my whole library. Damn, okay. But I'm with it. But I just want everybody to notice that leftists. But I was so pleased to see Shirley take on international banking.